e-paper industry is huge, a multi-billion-dollar industry, huge in fact. Little has ever rivaled standard e-paper, however, and even less has actually been released, except one, Gallery. But guess what? It's gone, for now at least. This is the rise and fall of EINK Gallery. Let's talk about what Gallery is, and why and how it's different. We'll keep this easy, and just say standard e-paper is what we all know. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, etc. It's what everyone uses. And at times, other rivaling e-paper technologies have been released. DES Slurry on the WeWood Group products, MIP on some Garmin smartwatches, and even RLCD. But these are either seen as unreleased techs or e-paper alternatives. So EINK then basically is the only company making standard e-paper devices, aka e-readers. In fact, 99% of devices use screens from one single company, EINK Taiwan. However, Gallery is a different beast and doesn't really look or perform like standard EINK units. It's slow, sluggish, terrible to refresh, but looks real. I mean real. It's not even close when it comes to quality. EINK Gallery 3 is based on the EINK ACEP platform, Advanced Color e-paper. In this platform, a full color gamut is achieved through 4 ink particle system: cyan, magenta, yellow, and white, which allows for a full color gamut at each individual pixel. In fact, EINK has backed this technology to the point of investing over $100 million in R&D into the tech. So it's some serious planning. There's no doubt that they are dedicated to the technology, but where is it? And what units use it? Actually, you can count the number of companies on one hand. So who is/was using Gallery 3? Well, there are only 3 companies who have ever implemented Gallery 3 in any sort of retail setting, and that is Sharp, Pocketbook, and yes, surprisingly, us, courtesy of bigme. We'll speak in order of actual accessibility. First on the docket is the Sharp 8. 2 years ago in April of 2022, EINK released Gallery 3 at a consumer electronics trade show. It was in the form of a rollable panel. This was running Gallery 3. The first company to pick this up would be Sharp with the Sharp 8. The Sharp 8 featured an 8-inch Gallery 3 screen, and that's pretty much it. Information was scarce, and we got our hands on it at CTEC Japan in Tokyo when Good eReader was live on the scene. It had a good note-taking layer, but the latency was poor, meaning it was extremely slow. They also instructed us not to write with the black color on the screen. At times, it wasn't as good as the red color. There was not much more to really say about the Sharp 8, although it actually did get a slight redesign in 2023. They said to us, it's almost finished. We went to yet another trade show and saw a more refined product. But no release dates was ever announced officially, and things just kept getting pushed back. After a great deal of time and trade shows around the world, the Sharp 8 seemingly never came out. Although that's not to say it won't in the future, but as per the date of this upload, it never arrived. Next on the docket, Pocketbook with the Pocketbook Viva. The Viva was announced in February of 2023. This was a good one. It had an all-new, specifically catered 8-inch body to accommodate the screen, and it even had its own model number. They weren't sharing shelves or housings or anything else with any manufacturer. This was built from the ground up. However, bigme was employed to make the operating system for the Viva, as they've been working together for nearly 15 years. The unit had a rough around the edges kind of operating system and didn't really offer too much in terms of usability, but to be fair, this was a prototype that they sent to us and us only. We could only use what they gave us, and what that wasn't very much. There wasn't a whole lot to the Viva outside of the form factor, and in fact, the body was the most interesting part of the unit. After an entire year, Pocketbook has seemingly, don't quote us, abandoned the Viva, as they have had countless releases of devices since the announcement, none of which are using Gallery 3. There's really not much else to say about the Pocketbook Viva, but it has been put on the back burner to say the least. Going back in time a little bit, in October of 2022, Good eReader teamed up with bigme to release the Good eReader X bigme Galley. We don't want to toot our own horn, but we did actually release the product, and it has been sold for the past 18 months, up until April of this year, when it was discontinued. But within that time, countless meetings, roundtable discussions, and collaborations with bigme, we got the unit to a place where it could actually be usable, and we released it, with its own box, stylus, and even a Good eReader embroidered case. The going was good for about a year and a half. We sold a great deal of the units themselves, however, it proved harder and harder to tweak Gallery 3 than it was to work with traditional Kaleido e-paper. It was as fast as any of the Gallery 3 enabled devices could possibly be, had Google Play and even a camera, not to mention audio, fingerprint sensor, and a note-taking layer. But the latency was high, meaning it was very slow. The refresh was few and far between, meaning that videos struggled. However, you can't doubt that it was not good looking, and it was the best looking color e-paper you could currently buy. You can't really buy Spectra, you can't really buy Prism. Gallery 3 was it, and the only release of any Gallery 3 unit was our unit. In the end, there were more pros than cons with Gallery 3. Yes, it looks like you're looking at a real magazine in the waiting room of your dentist's office. Yes, it was the latest and greatest and highest quality color e-paper you could spend your money on and actually have in the palm of your hands. And yes, it had Google Play and so much else. But the reality is that it was so hard to work with that it was just simply not feasible to keep the unit going any longer. Pocketbook had all but abandoned their unit, we were struggling to keep ours alive, and even Sharp, as big as that company is, could not handle or even so much release the Sharp 8 with Gallery 3. This video is not a final decision by any means in terms of Gallery 3. It could very well be picked up into the future. But it is not a dead technology. The reality is that it's just so hard to work with that companies big and small alike find it very difficult to justify putting Gallery 3 on their units, despite the fact that EINK themselves have invested over $100 million American into the technology itself. As per the date of this upload, we don't know what will happen with Kaleido, we don't know what will happen with Spectra, but as for now, there are no companies currently selling Gallery 3.